Welcome. It's Slow Flow Sundays, although you could do this any day. We're going to start laying on our backs. Yeah, with the clearing out thing, I've had to really take a break this week. But I really can't do much with my head all stopped up. But I'm still managing to do like random kitchen drawers or cabinets and stuff like that. I've got 3 huge bags. We call them the orange bags in our neighborhood. They pick them up on recycling day. It's called Simple Recycling. I know. And they take all kinds of stuff. They don't take toys, but any kitchenware, home goods like lamps, stuff like that, decor, and clothing and shoes. I've got 3 orange bags. I know. It is awesome. Is it time? I feel like it's close enough. Okay, so I am feeling a little bit spaced out today because of my continuing sinus infection. I decided to take a decongestant for the last 2 days, and it makes me pretty lightheaded. So we'll see how it goes with demoing today. But I may be working more on my verbal cues. We're going to start laying on our backs, and I invite you to bend your knees just to alleviate the low back. But if your low back isn't hurting, you can keep your legs straight if that's comfortable for you. And just lay all the way back. And you can place your hands on your belly. One hand on your belly, one hand on your heart can be nice. Or just both hands on your belly. And I'm going to stay sitting. And close your eyes. And allow yourself to settle into this space, to be present on the mat. To make that commitment and set that intention for your time today to be in your body. The way that we make changes to our nervous system and the way that we increase our stress tolerance and the way that we accomplish all that we accomplish in these classes is by attention to the body. Of course, I talk a lot about how the body's only a small part of the story, but to get to the rest of the story, we go through the body. So we practice in here being present. So let's do a little roll call just to start today. And first notice where your hands are, wherever you decided to place your hands. Notice how that feels. And if you set them on your body, noticing the pressure. If you have one over your heart, notice your heart rate. And then just watch your breath flow for a moment. And now I want you to take your attention to your feet. Hands and feet are the easiest place to feel first. And wiggle your toes if you want to, or you can even just take your feet and move them side to side a little bit to just contact the ground. And just notice how they feel. And then we'll return to the breath. And then starting to linger on the exhales, allowing your belly to sink back towards the spine. When you exhale, the diaphragm moves upward. When you inhale, it moves down. So as you inhale, you'll notice when the diaphragm moves down, your belly will lift, kind of giving space for the diaphragm to move and to open in the lungs. And then as you exhale and the diaphragm presses up, start to pull the pelvic floor in just a little bit. Start to firm up the low belly a little bit. Notice the pubic bone as it wants to tilt up towards the navel. When you inhale, soften and release. And exhale, gather that low belly together to press the air out, kind of assisting the diaphragm as it does its job. Taking a few conscious breaths. And then you can just bring your knees up off, or your feet up off the ground and put your hands over your knees. And we're going to do the same movement. As you inhale, open through the belly, through the chest. And when you exhale and tighten the low belly, it'll start to tilt the pubic bone up towards the navel. And the knees might move towards the chest a little bit. This might also be more comfortable with your knees apart. I invite you to kind of play around with it. Even if you think you know your body and you know what you like and what works for you, I still invite you to play around with it because we're new every day. At least that's what I tell my kids at dinner time. They tell me what they don't like to eat. Just because you didn't like it yesterday doesn't mean you won't like it today. Go ahead and finish up one more round of breath. And then place your feet flat on the floor. Take a little short pause to notice the pelvis, notice the belly, notice the spine. And then we're going to come to a seated position. So a couple options. You can either just rock and roll straight up, or you can roll onto your side and come up gently. Inhale. Of course, I like to sit on a folded blanket. We're going to sit in easy seated pose. If easy seated pose is just not easy for you, just do whatever is. And if it's really too much on the low back, I know I have one client who literally cannot sit like this no matter what. There's just no way he does it. So you can just lay on your back. What we're doing is we're moving our hands and we're moving our head, and you could do this lying on your back as well. So take a moment and notice how this feels, feeling into your sits bones. If you want to move some squishy parts out of the way and really get connected, ground down through the tailbone and really feel into the earth. And then we're going to bring our hands up like a little bowl in front of us. Elbows are tucked in and our hands are curved, cupped like a little bowl. And find your gaze at the edge of your fingertips. Notice how maybe by bringing your attention and your gaze to your fingertips, you can feel the energy there. Maybe it feels like heat or tingling. And if not, that's okay too. From here, we're going to open up towards the window. So just moving the right hand. Follow the fingertips with the eyes. So the head turns. Inhaling. And exhale, come back to center. Follow the fingertips with the eyes. When the hands meet, you'll switch, go the other direction. Inhale. And exhale back to center. Take your arm as far out, your hand as far out to the side as you can comfortably go. And if that's only a little ways, then that's fine too. Exhaling to center. Go nice and slow. Big, deep breaths. Inhale, go the other direction. Okay, so we've had our gaze on our fingertips. On the next two rounds, I want you to keep your gaze on your fingertips, but take your attention to the room around your fingertips. And notice what that feels like. So you still have your eyes on your fingers, but now you're kind of playing with that sense of awareness. Like, okay, I see the fingers, but I'm also aware of the floor and the carpet and my sweatshirt over there, or whatever else is in your surroundings. Exhaling back to center. Take your time. We're going to do one more time each side. So while I can see my slippers, I'm not looking at them. I'm still looking at my fingertips. I'm going to call this brain yoga. And then come back to center after you finish that last round, and keep your outside edges of your hands together in this little bowl. And your attention is still focused onto the fingertips. Or your eyes are still on your fingertips. Bring your attention back to the fingertips, I should say. I'll just take a moment and pause on each finger. Noticing the little parts of your skin that stand out to you. Sending them love. Our hands do so much for us. To the middle of your palm. Both of them. And imagine like a spring bubbling up. Your palms start to fill up. It doesn't have to be a light. I say it with questioning because I don't want to direct too terribly much. I want you to have your own experience here. So it can look like water. It can look like, sparkles. It can look like a pink glow. Whatever it looks like to you, your hands are filling up with the very unique gift that you're here to offer the world, and everybody has one. When your hands are full, take a moment and feel it. You don't even have to know what it represents. It doesn't matter. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to give your gift to the world. So you can set it down in front of you and kind of release it, or you can go up with it, whatever feels natural. And then bring your hands back to your knees and close your eyes. Allowing that bit of practice to kind of sink in. Notice your shoulders and your chest, how those muscles feel, maybe your neck. Noticing your hands. Maybe even noticing the eyes. The eyes did a lot of work. And now you can keep your eyes closed if you'd like to, or I cannot because I'm dizzy. You can open them. We're going to make big circles. So exhale, chin to chest. And then as you inhale, start to take your head around, ear to shoulder, chin to ceiling, other ear to other shoulder, and then back around, chin to chest. Take your time. You inhale as you go up, and then exhale when you come back around. Noticing any places that are calling out to you, asking for some attention. And if you need to stop. Give it some love. You can even use your hands. Like if you have a spot, you're like, okay, I'm coming. Tune into what your neck and your shoulders are telling you. Finishing up on the round that you're on, when you get chin to chest, go the opposite direction. Inhaling again to come up. And exhale back around. Finishing up the round that you're on. Ending with chin on chest and an exhale. And then inhale your head back up straight. And we'll pause. Notice how the neck feels. Maybe you can feel heat or just that flow, that energy of flow through your neck and shoulders. Maybe the places of discomfort are calling out to you with little sharp edges. It's a message. Okay, we're going to come up to all fours. Take your time. I am going to put this under my knees If you need extra padding underneath your hands, if your wrists are feeling kind of hairy, go ahead and get padding underneath your wrists. I'm going to keep one handy for when we go into single-handed. Again, we're going to take that same breath here. As you inhale, open the belly, relax, make space. Exhale, draw the navel up towards the spine and the pubic bone towards the navel to bring your spine into alignment. Think about reaching the tailbone away from the crown of the head, and the gaze of your eyes will be at the edge of your mat. So you're not looking straight up and you're not looking straight down, just a little bit. Making sure your fingers are nice and wide. Don't miss any opportunities to stretch anything. And we're going to just go inhale, rock it forward, lift the head, lift the chest. And exhale, slowly lower back down. Elbows come down, hips come down, forehead comes down. Inhaling back up again. Keeping your pelvis in that alignment where the tailbone reaches long. Lift your head. And exhale, come all the way back. And you can take your time here. You may not go as fast as I'm going. Just as you inhale up, that low belly has to firm. Your glutes have to turn on to keep your spine in alignment. We're not doing a cat-cow here, although we are going to a little extension and a little flexion. It's not intended to be that deep pull up and down of the spine. Gentle, inhaling up. And on this one, we're going to hold. Exhale back down. Staying in your child's pose or not. So child's pose is not comfortable for everybody. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be. If you find yourself hanging and you want to stay here and you can't get all the way down, you can take a block or a folded blanket and place it under your head so that you can find rest. And if child's pose is just terribly uncomfortable, you can sit up. That's fine too. Noticing the breath, where it moves in the body. When you're folded with your belly over your thighs, it can be hard to inhale into the belly because it's constricted by the thighs. So maybe if you feel your breath lifting up into your back, opening through the back part of the rib cage, you can get a deeper inhale. Okay, we're going to return to our all fours position, fingers nice and wide. And I am going to take an extra pad and put it underneath one hand. So we'll start with the left hand down. Reach the right foot behind you. Flex the foot, toes are curled under, and press out through the heel. So you get a little stretch on the gastroc. Oh, yeah. Check in with your pelvis alignment. You want to make sure that you're not curling up into an extension here. Everything stays pulled in. Navel pulls up towards the spine. Then we're going to roll that heel, back heel, down to the ground and lift the right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale here and exhale back down. We're going to do this a few times. Coming back to center, take your time, bringing the right leg in. I'm going to switch my blanket. And then take the left foot back. Curl the toes under, press it out, stretch on that gastroc. Oh. Then shift your weight over to your right. And inhale, the left arm comes up. Inhale here. And exhale, bring it back down. I'm going to move the blanket out of the way because we're going to do couple rounds of inhale, sunbird. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale into child's pose. And hold here for one breath. Inhale to come back up to all fours. And we're going to go back to the left arm down, right arm up. So taking your right leg out behind you, curl the toes under, little stretch. And then we're going to roll that heel down. On your next inhale, pull up through the left oblique. That's where the strength comes from here. Now, we're going to hold this for a few breaths this time. And the option here is to take the bottom leg and turn it perpendicular. It will help hold your balance a little bit easier if you want to do that. You can turn the toe to face away from you instead of facing forward. And then if you want to, bring that right arm up over by the right ear. And you can kind of bow through the right side of your rib cage a little bit, getting a nice, big, long stretch. How's that on your shoulders? Couple breaths here. And on your next exhale, bringing it down, straight down. Right hand comes down, right leg comes down, and we'll switch sides. Take the left leg long, roll the heel down, and inhale into the posture. Holding here for a couple breaths. Remember to squeeze that right oblique. That underneath side is pushing up. So while our right arm is doing a lot of work, of course, really the right oblique squeezing will be what holds you here. And then you can turn your toe if you'd like. You can also turn that bottom leg if you need more support. And then maybe you want to reach the left arm to the left ear and bow through the rib cage, finding that full stretch all the way, maybe even into the triceps a little bit. Oh. And then on your next exhale, bringing that arm down. Leg comes in. And just a couple rounds of sunbird to child's pose to center back out. Maybe just 2 should do it. And then finding your child's pose that works for you. Another option, if you are hovering, is you can take like a double fist. That can be easier. Just fold your arms. That's nice. Curl up all the way into a ball. Bring your hands back by your feet. Child's pose is so versatile. Okay, now we're going to come to standing. Take your time, especially if you're dizzy. Inhaling on the way up. There we go. I'm so sweaty too. I swear to God. Oh, I'm on drugs today. Okay. So relax your arms down by your side. Wiggle your fingers so that you can loosen up through your hands and you're not holding any tension. And soften the knees. Exhale to feel the belly draw in. Tailbone reaches long. Just take a moment here. You can cast your gaze downwards or close your eyes all the way. Noticing where you are holding your weight. So are you standing in your heels? Are you standing in your toes? Do you stand more on your left leg or your right leg? There's no right or wrong. Then I'm not asking you to shift it, simply to notice, to be with what your body is doing right now. Okay, now we're going to play with some more brain yoga. So we're going to inhale, float the arms up to the side. Keeping them in your peripheral vision, let your eyes all the way up with them. Then as you exhale, we're going to keep the right arm up at an angle and the left arm is going to come down to the opposite angle. So like a little, what is it, diagonal? Yeah. Inhale all the way back up. Eyes will come up. And exhale, other side. So the left arm will stay up. We're just going to do this a few times. Inhale, eye gaze comes up. See if you can keep seeing your hands in your peripheral vision. Inhale. Exhale. Noticing again, where is your pelvis? One more time each side. Inhaling up. And notice how your hands feel with those elevation changes. Inhaling up. Both arms up, both arms all the way down. Eye gaze comes down with your hands. And we're going to do 3 of those. Inhale all the way up. Eye gaze up, hands are up. Exhale down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. I had somebody ask me one time about the peripheral vision thing. They were concerned because they didn't have good peripheral vision and they felt like they were supposed to be stretching their arms back and opening up. And I was like, nope, keep them up. I don't care if your hands are coming out here to keep them in your peripheral vision, out to the front. It's an eye exercise. And then we'll pause. Wiggle your fingers and then relax, soften the knees, and take that moment to really tune in. I'm tempted to say, notice how the brain feels. And although that sounds weird and you can't really feel your brain, you can kind of feel how your nervous system feels after that kind of concentrated effort. And even if it seems easy, it takes very integration, a big time integration of both hemispheres of the brain to do those kinds of movements. Okay, now we're going to take our hands to our hips and bring our feet out just a little ways, probably past shoulder distance. And we're going to go deep squats now, okay? So do what you got. Obviously, you don't have to go all the way down, but we're going to hold at one point. So actually going all the way down is a little bit easier. Inhale. Exhale, squat down. You can lift your heels. And inhale back up. Nice and slow, all the shaking. Exhale down. Inhaling up. If you need to adjust your feet, I think I'm going to bring mine a little bit closer. See how that goes? Exhale down. All the Rice Krispies. Inhaling back up. Oh, shaking. And exhale down and we'll hold. And if this is too much on your knees, obviously don't do it. It's a little bit easier when my feet are closer together. Ooh. Balancing is part of it. And squeezing up on that pelvic floor. So we're not just sinking in. One more breath. And then inhale all the way up. And relax. Notice how that feels. Hips, quads, glutes, head, all that elevation changing. Oh, Lordy. We're going to step our legs wide. And we're going to turn to face the window. We'll go first with the window. You have all the carpets. If you want to use 2, you can use 2. They shouldn't slide. They're either non-slip. What's the word I'm looking for? Or I put a mat underneath them. Okay. And less is more. You don't have to go real far with the legs. Hips are nice and open. Relax your arms down by your side. And we're going to work in triangle. So we're just going to stay legs straight. Inhale, arms come out to a T. Exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips. Just bring your front hand down to your knee. Inhale to come back up. And if you need to soften your knee when you come down, that's okay. Soften a little bit. That might be good. Inhale back up. And even if you can get your hand all the way to the floor, just go to your knee. Inhale back up. Now maybe you want to go a little bit further. Try for the shin. Inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhaling up. And then we'll hold. And then the same thing that we did on the floor, you can reach your arm a little bit farther across the body to open up into a deeper stretch. And inhale. And exhale. Coming back to center, taking a moment. Noticing how the side bodies feel different from one to the other. Words are hard. And then we'll go the other direction. Setting up first. Hips are nice and wide. And inhale your arms to a T. Exhale, front hand just to the knee to start. We're doing 3 times at the knee. Inhale back up. Exhale to the knee. Inhaling up. You may be wondering why. I would tell you, if you can go all the way down, why you should stop at your knee and your shin. Because a lot of times, and then down to the shin, if you can get that far. If not, stay at your knee. A lot of times, it's harder to tune in to the real subtleties of the movement when we're focused on going to our full extension. Exhale down and hold. Whereas if we hold back just a little bit and stay in a gentler version, it forces us to really tune into the muscles that we're using. Maybe reach. On your next inhale. And exhale all the way back to center. Very nice. Okay. And we'll pause here. Inhale, float your arms up to the side. And exhale, float them back down. Hinge at the hips, soften the knees all the way down. We're going to go back up. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down. Inhale up. And this time we'll pause. Exhale down. So keeping your knees soft to begin with. When you feel ready on your inhales, maybe try straightening the knees. And as you exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften. Or not, really. You don't have to do any of that. If you just want to stay relaxed with your knees bent. And then keeping your knees soft on your next inhale, lengthen out through the spine. Arms come out. And exhale, hands come down. We'll bring our feet together for our next pause. Got a lot of flow through the body today. Really fun. Okay, we're going to balance. I know. I don't know why. Why not? Standing on one leg is always a good idea. So first, let's take the power of the mind and bring your attention down into your feet and picture roots growing out through your feet. Going very deep into the earth's crust, maybe curling around and interweaving and really gripping on into the dirt layer beneath us. Then we're going to shift our weight to our right leg. Lift up the left heel, and you're going to turn the knee to press open and out. And we'll just start by placing the heel over the top of the other foot. Bring our hands here. Heart center prayer. Or not. You can keep them down. You could do like this. Yeah, that feels good. And this is good. Your weight is in your standing legs, squeezing, lifting up through the pelvic floor. And you can stay here and be very happy tree. Or if you want to try, maybe bringing your foot to your ankle so the toes are just the only thing touching the ground of your left foot. And see how that feels. If you start to feel wobbly, you just need to squeeze. And again, I'm going to invite you not to go to the full extension of this posture, even if you're capable, so that you can really feel it. And then bring it down. Shake them out, shake them out. And we're going to do a little pause before we switch sides. So finding that center, close your eyes or just look down and feel from one leg to the other. The standing leg had to work really hard, but the bent knee leg had to pull back. So maybe you can feel more in the glute on that side. Notice how your head feels, your sense of balance, your proprioception, how you feel your body moving in space. And then let's bring our roots back out. They're there anyway, but we'll picture them so that we can get more of a connection to them. Noticing those roots, reaching down into the dirt. And then shift your weight to your left foot. Lifting the right heel. Turn the knee out. And just place the heel over the other foot. Maybe hands go here. Maybe hands come out here. To say on the last one, a focal point is really good to have. A spot on the wall that you can focus on, or the floor, something that doesn't move. The visual cortex is extremely powerful. So if you watch something that's moving, you'll find your body moving with it. And when we balance and we want to be still, watch something still. And then maybe you want to bring the bottom of the foot up to the ankle. And then bring it back down. Shake it out. Shake it out. Ooh, so much fun. And then notice how everything feels. All the way from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Everything is involved in a balancing posture. And then we're going to make our way back down to the floor onto our tummy. It's coming all the way down onto the belly. We're just going to keep it really gentle today. So take your legs kind of wide, wider than your hips. Tops of the feet are flat. And then you can bring a blanket or a block underneath your forehead. Fold this a little bit more. There. And take your hands back down by your hips, palms facing down. No, palms facing up. Turn your palms to face up. I like that better. And we're just going to sway. So let your hips start to move from side to side. So this is our crocodile pose. I can't think of the name of the monster in Sanskrit, but it's our sacral chakra monster that we have to defeat to elevate past our kind of sacral chakra energy, right? So you can imagine yourself like a crocodile and think about how they move their back legs and their tail just swishes behind them. Just gliding across the water. And of course, this is within all of us all the time, even when you're not connected to it. And then coming back to stillness. Notice how your spine feels. My son's friend came over. So now there's 2 giant boys running around upstairs. And now turn your hands, palms face down. And you can keep your feet wide. You can move your blanket out of the way and hover your nose over the mat. We're just going to do a couple rounds of locust. So on your inhale, I'm just going to talk you through it first. When you inhale, you're going to lift your chest, lift your shoulders, lift your hands and your feet. You can keep your palms to face the ground. And exhale, we're going to come back down. Okay? If you don't want to lift your legs, that's fine. You can just do the upper half of the body. And you don't have to lift your arms very high. And on your next inhale, lift. And exhale, float back down. Now we're going to fly. Inhale, we fly. And exhale, we float back down. Inhale, we fly. And we'll hold here. Exhale, kind of soften. And inhale, fly. If you want to try to turn your thumbs up towards the ceiling, rotates open the shoulders, stretching out the front of the chest. Totally optional. One more deep inhale. And exhale all the way back down. Very nice. And you can bring your arms up underneath your head, or you can bring your blanket back up under your forehead so you can rest fully. And on your pause, pay very close attention to the spine, noticing all the little muscles, the erector spinae, those muscles alongside the vertebrae, and noticing your shoulders, noticing your arms, maybe the glutes a little bit, you lifting your legs, and then just how your body feels. We're going to flip it over. You can stay right where you're at and flip, or you can spin all the way around, whatever feels good. And when you get on your back, bend your knees. Feet are flat on the floor. And you can bring your knees up toward your chest. And work it out with that sacral area. So we just did some deep extension. So you might want to take some apanasanas, opening the knees, or opening the space between the chest and the knees, and then bringing the knees back into your chest, kind of rubbing along that sacral area, just like we did at the start of our practice. And you might want to go side to side, right across the back of the hips, the back of the pelvis. And then we're going to set the feet down. Hands are going to be by your side, palms face down. And we're going to inhale to lift the hips and the arms at the same time. If your shoulders are not feeling it today, you can go to a cactus arm, like this, instead of all the way up. Or you could skip it all together, really. It just gives us that inversion effect that we haven't had, really. So on your next inhale, press your feet down, lift the hips straight up, bring the arms up, floats over the head. And then back of the hand touches the floor behind you. Exhale, hands float all the way down, hips float down. You can roll through the spine, bringing it down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale again, press and lift, arms float. And if you want to do cactus, that'll go here. And exhaling back down. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhaling through. Exhale, bring it down. Last one. And exhale. When you get all the way back down, if you want to bring your knees back up for some more rocking, feel free. Just kind of giving that last bit of love and attention to your body before you settle in for a Shavasana position. And take your time. I swear to God, I vacuum in here, and it's like there's just dog hair all the time. So you can keep your legs just out straight, flat on the floor if that's comfortable for you, or you can find a little cushion to put up under your knees. That can be very helpful if you have low back discomfort. I invite you to turn your palms to face up. If your shoulders are really tight or sore and that's not working out, that's fine. You can place your hands on your body as well, like we started our practice today. I am going to sit, stay laying down. And I like this music for meditating as well, so I will leave that. We're just going to settle into our bodies and take some time to really notice how everything feels. So if you happen to go to the gym and do some heavy weightlifting and you have soreness in your muscles, that is definitely something you want to take notice of. This can be an enjoyable experience. Maybe you haven't been doing exercise. Maybe you've had a week sick on the couch. And just getting a little bit of movement going really sparks up that feeling of being alive. When we stop paying attention to how our body feels, we go numb. We stop feeling that feeling. That is the greatest gift and blessing that we get here in these earth suits. And that's the gift of life, the gift of being alive. There's so much beauty in the world around us. There's so much joy that just lives naturally inside our bodies. All we have to do is tune in and kind of scuff off that surface layer dirt of discomfort or agitation that's not really aligned with our true inner potential. But you can't scuff that off if you're not willing to feel it. So taking this opportunity, we'll check in with your feet and your legs and your knees. And your hips, your glutes and your low belly. And then noticing the belly around the navel, all the way back to the spine. Up into the chest, into the rib cage, front of the chest, back of the chest. Noticing the upper part of your pectorals by your collarbones, all the way back around to your shoulder blades. Noticing the shoulders. Letting them sink, letting them rest. And each arm. Into your hands and your fingers. Noticing the neck and the throat. And then up into the head. Notice the jaw, the tongue. Let them soften and relax. The cheeks, ears, eyes, and brow. Don't turn away from the discomfort. Be willing to face it. Be willing to feel it. And then return to the breath. And see the breath as it goes in. See the breath as it goes out. Noticing the mind as it wants to wander. And when you catch it, just bring your awareness back to your breath. Take a deep inhale. And exhale completely. Take a moment and notice how you get to do that. While your breath does happen with or without your attention, you do get to decide if you want to take a deep breath. Allow a feeling of gratitude to wash over you, appreciation for this body exactly the way it is right now, all it has done for you and does for you every day. Honor that, honor the messages that you received from your body in our practice today. And when you feel ready, you can start to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Take your time. Maybe stretch. Allow those last few moments as your practice of yoga is absorbed through all your layers. Thank you. Namaste. How are your shoulders? Mm-hmm. Oh, all the effort. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.